Hello, cosplay world. We're the Kansas City cosplayers and photographers, and we're here to tell you exactly what we do, who we are, and we're doing that via podcast. We're gonna be talking cosplay, everything that goes with it, and we're gonna spam your ears with some geek talk too every once in a while, because the reason why we got into cosplay is we're giant nerds. So, first and foremost, just to let you know, we're about a group of 150 people, and we got together in between March and May of 2014. We started by just talking to each other, and we're like, hey, you have tips that I don't, and I want to cosplay with you. I want to be in your Sailor Moon group. Well, I want to be in your Ghostbuster group, and that's how it came together. And now we have charity cosplayers, and we have professional cosplayers, we have makeup artists, and we have builders, we have LARPers, we have just a ton of different kind of people involved in the group, and every single one has different talents and different goals, and hopefully this group is just going to help everybody achieve them. Just so you know, my name is Rachel. I've been cosplaying since, I was a kid. I would make random costumes from TV shows that I would see. I really wanted to be Storm as a child and insisted that I got to wear her crown all the time and a big cape. Since then, I have done really well with makeup. I do a lot of costumes where I'm wearing a ton of different body paint, ton of different prosthetics. That's just what I personally gravitate towards. Right now, I'm currently cosplaying Princess Zelda and the Wicked Witch of the West, or Elphaba, if you want me to sing, which you don't. I'm working on Poison Ivy, and upcoming I'm doing Nebula from Guardians of the Galaxy. With me tonight is Derek. He's also one of our admins, Ryan, and Bradley. And all of them are going to talk to you about themselves now. Derek, what got you into cosplay?
Well, I'm probably the amateur of the group. I've only been cosplaying for about a year and a half. It started in 2013 when I went to Planet Comic-Con, and I dressed in my Jean-Luc Picard Star Trek uniform costume. And I did that because George Takei and Will Wheaton were both there in 2013. And I did it again this year because a lot more people were there this year from Star Trek. But I also started cosplaying as Green Lantern at Planet Comic-Con. And I have a new Green Lantern costume that I'll be debuting at Batman Day this year. So I'm pretty excited about that, but I'm a DC guy and I'm a Trekkie, so that tends to be what I cosplay, though I might try to come up with something for the Hunger Games Mockingjay Part 1. We'll see how that goes.
Ryan, how about you?
Well, thank you for asking.
You're very welcome.
I've been cosplaying for a long time, longer than I probably want to admit. For me, it started with Ghostbusters. I really liked the movie. I wanted to build a proton pack. I always wanted one since I was a kid. And I didn't realize it was possible until I got older, and that people actually are crazy enough to try and attempt something like that. So I started that journey, and that after I built that, I went ahead and brought it to Planet Comic-Con, figured I'd finish out the costume. I've been doing that since, charity events and all kinds of other events. I also do Shaun of the Dead. I've done some Half-Life costumes. My recent one has been Green Arrow. I have a secret costume. It's going to be for Planet Comic-Con next year that I'm working on and learning new skills for, so that's exciting.
Now, your Green Arrow, just to be specific, it's based off of the TV show.
CW TV show, yes.
That's good.
Arrow. I'm doing air quotes right now. You guys can't see it. Yeah, Arrow from the CW TV show.
Perfect.
It's kind of a mix between all the different things from the different seasons. So
Great. Bradley?
I've been cosplaying for a couple of years. I want to say since Iron Man 1 came out.
Nice.
I really just went to the movie dressed up as different characters. Probably the best one was the Thor one, where I made the full duct tape Thor suit.
Is this for the first Thor or
yeah,
Dark World?
It was for the first Thor that I made a
disappointed after it was done. Then it was like, wow, I didn't have a costume for that movie.
Yeah. I mean, the hammer weighed like 10 pounds itself.
Nice.
It was awesome. It was huge. So I did movies, and then I went to Planet Comic-Con. I can't remember what I cosplayed my first time there. I want to say it was Green Lantern.
Nice.
It's either Green Lantern or Aquaman. But Aquaman got scrapped. It's going to be another thing that's getting fixed. But
it's too bad. I could see you being a really good King Arthur.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, no, I'm not.
But I mainly cosplay as Deathstroke, and the suit I use is a combination between the CW Arrow show and Arkham Origins.
And how many Deathstroke versions do you actually have? You have to admit that to the world now.
I have four Deathstrokes and one Slade Wilson.
That's how Brad and I met, because at Planet Comic-Con this year, he was Deathstroke, and he was like, "Oh, your Arrow costume's awesome." And I was like, "Oh, your Deathstroke costume's awesome." And
let's battle.
Yeah, we had probably 1,000 pictures taken of us, and it was.
No, we only had 2.
Well, between the two of us, we only had 2,
yeah.
but there was a lot of people that were taking pictures from the sidelines. So
there's going to be more on Batman Day,
I'm sure.
So, Bradley, what is your current dream costume?
My current dream costume. I don't know. Come back to me on that.
Oh, no.
I mean, right now I'm working on Spawn, and I've been wanting to do that for a while. And it seems like it's going to be a lot of fun.
And you're debuting that at Crypticon this year.
Yep, doing that at Crypticon.
Are you doing it all 3 days? Or just Saturday and Sunday? Or?
I'm just doing it Saturday.
Okay.
And then, because Friday and Sunday, I'm going to be as Michael Wright.
A vendor.
He's a character in a movie I acted in.
That's right.
I get to dress up as that again.
So, August 16th, you'll be at Crypticon dressed in your Spawn costume.
Yep.
Fantastic. And you're going to Crypticon as well in your Ghostbuster.
Yes. Ghostbuster.
Again.
In my Mark II Proton pack, the one that has all the lights and sounds, yeah.
So, August 16th, Ghostbuster, Ryan, costume contest.
Yep.
No. Aside from that,
What are you doing, Rachel? At Crypticon?
I've told you already. I haven't. I'm going to be redoing my clicker makeup from The Last of Us. I made it out of glue and cotton balls, and it actually looked pretty realistic, or at least a good copy. So this time I'm going to be doing that everywhere and messing up my teeth and making a giant helmet mask to where I'll have 20% visibility, and maybe I'll put like a chain on my neck and take some Walking Dead in there so people can lead me around and I don't bump into everybody.
Yeah, I got about 15% of vision with my Deathstroke mask.
Do you really?
I really only get to see this much.
Yeah,
that's
with my
true.
Arrow too. It's like, I can
Bye periphery.
Yeah. And you can't hear anything either because the hood covers your ears. You can only hear what's coming straight in front of you. So
that is one thing they don't tell you about cosplay, is that most of the time you won't see anything.
Yeah, there's a picture over here. Oh, okay, I didn't see that.
See, that's why I go as Green Lantern. It's nice and easy. So,
right, you got the nice domino mask and
yeah,
at the most.
Vision that bad.
Well, see, I'm my new one's Guy Gardner, and he doesn't even wear a mask, so that's nice and simple.
Lucky duck.
It's a very comfortable costume. That was the idea. So,
I mean, I can always take my helmet off and have the eye patch on, but still.
What's worse about not being able to see anything, though, is this upcoming weekend, we're celebrating Batman's 75th anniversary outdoors. So 90% of the cosplayers are going to be covered head to toe in leather, pleather, armor, and I'm really hoping they just don't sweat to death. We're going to do our best to keep people alive, but no promises.
I have a feeling there's going to be some hot glue failing on the armor, so just remelting and pieces falling off.
That could be.
That doesn't happen.
I'm pretty sure I'll be dropping leaves everywhere just as I go.
Oh, it's in character, right?
A little bit, yeah. But
and you were worried about jumping on a trampoline.
I was, just a little bit. Yeah, somebody suggested we go trampolining after this, and that's a new word, by the way. You can send it to Oxford.
cosplay trampolining.
Cosplay trampolining.
All right.
The laser tag.
It's a new thing. Yeah, we're thinking about going laser tagging together.
Cos laser play tag.
Cos laser play tag.
It's a thing. Hashtag it.
I think it would be fantastic if we got our group to separate in Marvel versus DC. We could film the whole thing,
yes.
And apparently I'd be the only one on the Marvel side in this room right now because I'm getting death stares. But, I don't know. We do a ton of different get-togethers like this. We're doing our best to make sure that these 150 people are actually friends and teams instead of just strange faces on the internet. I mean, there's been a cosplay community in Kansas City for roughly the past 10 years, but it's been so sparse and we haven't talked to each other. There's been very little communication to get us all together. So now we're getting together and we're making events for each other. We're not just going to places, we're creating them and we're using each other for tutorials and tips. And I just think it's fantastic how much everybody else around me can add to my knowledge of cosplay. I wouldn't be as good of a cosplayer as people have told me I am if I didn't have their help to begin with. Do you guys want to touch on any of that? Like, how has just being in the group these last few months helped you out?
Well, it's probably some new friends. That's always good. I haven't had the opportunity to really learn anything from anybody yet, but I'm sure that'll come in the future.
But have you had any costume inspiration? Like, do you see other people doing stuff that you might want to try now? Or
It's I'm pretty picky about my costumes, so
Fair
personally, no. But
okay.
But people close to me have certainly been inspired. My girlfriend is doing the Guardians of the Galaxy premiere, so she wants to do the Drax costume along with the rest of the group, so that'll be interesting.
I'm curious what she's going to do, actually, since Drax basically not a costume. It's
mostly body paint.
It is.
So we're relying on the expertise of others to bring us through that. But I mean, he has some props and a few costume pieces, so. Of course, he's male, so that's going to be another twist.
You're also going to Guardians of the Galaxy, aren't you, Bradley?
Yeah.
And that's next Thursday. We're going to be appearing at Alamo Drafthouse downtown, and then also Legends Theater in Wyandotte County. And what are you doing? He's so speechless. If you could see his face right now, it's all red.
I'm doing Nova. At least I'm going to attend
at the moment.
At the moment. Because it's changed.
Fair enough.
Originally, I was going to be doing Groot. And then Kalen, one of the KCCP Cosplay members, I found out he was doing a version of Groot, and it looks like the movie version, and I told him to take it over. His Groot is way better than what I was going to do, and a theater in Portland is actually flying him out to come to their premiere for it.
Kalen is one of our professional cosplayers. This is the first time he's been asked to actually premiere at a legit movie, but we're all very excited for him. And he'll be doing it in his Groot costume. He says it's going to be about 8 foot tall. He'll be on stilts. And it seems like in the work in progress pictures that he has really good maneuverability and craftsmanship. Like I said, I'm going to do the Guardians of the Galaxy 2. I'm doing Nebula, which if nobody knows, Nebula is Thanos' daughter. So connection to Thanos right there. And that's going to be awesome. She's pretty much thought to be a Gamora-only villain, but I have a feeling she's going to kick way more ass than just Gamora.
You're doing the comic book version, not the movie version, right?
I'm doing the movie outfit and the movie makeup. The only thing from the comic books that I'm transferring over is the hair, because I'm just not going to have help with a bald cap that night. Like, we're going to be doing so many other things that bald cap's just out of it. I ended up making my swords, which I've never made swords before. I did that out of PVC. I ended up making a bionic arm, which I had never done before, and it's okay from afar, but up close it's rough. I definitely need some more Warbler help, and I'm sure there's tons of people in the group that can help me with it. I'm really proud of my bionic monocle, I'm gonna call it, because I don't know exactly what that thing's for. I'd be lying if I said I was a Guardians expert. I've just tried to do my best
I don't think anybody really is a Guardians expert.
I don't think so.
That's a fair point.
I mean, they were introduced in 1969, but didn't get their own comic till 1993, so I really don't think anybody is. We'll be there. We'll have 90% of the main characters there. The only one I don't think we're going to have available is the Collector, and that's fine, because Benicio del Toro is doing a great Collector on its own, and I just don't think we have someone with the magnitude to accomplish that at this point.
Unless I don't get my sculpting done for Nova.
Then, you'll just go get a white wig and some fluffy gloves and...
Yeah,
He's already got some of those.
I honestly would be more curious to see you make the Ether and the Tesseract and have the Infinity Stones.
I can help you with that if you needed help with
that. That would be impressive, because then you'd actually be the Collector.
He's gonna get Nova done, so we don't have to worry about any of this.
I gotta get Nova done before I work on any of the props for the movie. But
Fair
you know
enough.
what? I would like to do movie versions of the Infinity Stones. That'd be pretty cool.
That would be cool. But we have other events, too. We don't just do movies. We don't just do events at comic book stores, even though William at Elite provides us with so many throughout the year. We also do a lot of charity work. There's so much of it that goes on. Jessica Meditz Porter has been a Kansas City cosplayer for about 7 or 8 years, I think now. She's famous for her Supergirl. I've seen her on the cover of Pitch magazine, which, if you're not from KC, it's a pretty big publication here. And she's helped us grow. I mean, she's so well known. Kids just love her. And she appears with Children's Mercy. She goes to a ton of different nursing homes and schools and just really brightens up people's day. We do a lot of walks. We did Sprint Family Fun Day. We also have the Zombie Walks people part of our group, and they promote their multiple walks they have them twice a year.
At least, yeah, that's what I believe it is.
And the next one's in October, correct?
Yeah.
And it's actually on the same day as the Autism Speaks Walk. And considering autism is such a growing issue in America, a lot of us want to be a part of that.
Kansas City Ghostbusters will be at that one for sure, and I'm sure we have several other groups that are going to be in that also.
Definitely. I know I'm making a new costume just for that, because currently I don't feel like I have any kid-friendly costumes.
Same way.
I thought I did with the Wicked Witch, but when I made a couple kids cry at Free Comic Book Day, I decided maybe I shouldn't.
That's how you know you're doing it right.
Right. I even left off the mole, but no, I'm gonna make a Merida costume just so I can get hugs from little kids.
You're gonna make a what costume?
Merida from Brave.
Pixar.
It's a Disney thing. You wouldn't know.
Disney thing?
There's no
Oh,
Disney
no.
Deathstroke.
There's no Disney.
No, Bradley. You once told me you were gonna dress up as Tarzan.
It's an intense movie.
It is.
Kids really shouldn't have watched that growing up.
There's a lot of movies from Disney that I don't think I should have seen as a kid. Like, I really wish I could erase that whole Chernobog scene from Fantasia. Like, I didn't know the ghosts had boobs, but they shouldn't have boobs.
Or the entirety of Beetlejuice. I mean, that movie, when you go
Beetlejuice.
back and watch that as an adult, it's a lot.
So inappropriate.
Yeah, it's very inappropriate. Yeah, there's a couple movies that are like that I've watched as an adult that I'm just like, how did I know?
But when you look back, you're like, I loved that as a kid. I
thought he was saying something funny because everybody else laughed as a kid, but it was...
Back to Disney princesses. Thor's now a Disney princess.
That's
He's
true.
not.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Thor's
Just
a
like
Disney
Leia
princess.
is not.
Oh, Leia is actually officially a Disney princess
She
now.
is not.
You can purchase
No.
her at the Disney store under the Disney princess
That's
section.
a little different than being in the Disney princess lineup. I am a Disney princess elitist. I have a Disney tattoo. She is not. Sorry.
You found a sticking point here.
Jeez, I'll have to remember that one.
Controversy on day one.
So, Rachel, you asked Brad what his dream costumes are. What
Right.
kind of dream costumes do you have?
What kind of dream costumes? I'm not the biggest fan of this movie, but it's not one of my favorites. I want to do it because of the costume. Rise of the Guardians, the Tooth Fairy. If anybody has seen that movie, it was a kid's movie. Just briefly.
That's why I haven't seen it.
Right. I love kids' movies. I go to them more than kids do. Just briefly, it's a movie about fictional characters that were passed down through legend. Santa Claus, Tooth Fairy, Easter Bunny, Jack Frost, the Sandman, and the Boogeyman. And the characters were pretty well done. The only reason why I have a problem with the movie is because there were so many characters and not enough time to focus on them. And it actually flopped. I was surprised. I thought it was going to do really well. But the Tooth Fairy actually looks more like a bird. She has individual feathers on her, and they're done in beautiful greens and blues and yellows, and it would be just a very drastic costume. I've also wanted to build up to a Kerrigan costume. She's got the really cool dreads and the great makeup, and she's got the bladed wings.
That's a tough one.
It would be. That's something.
That's a dream.
Right. I'm building my skills. Derek, how about you? Dream costume.
Well, some of them are a little stereotypical. We kind of talked about this as a group a while back, but I've always wanted my own Stormtrooper costume. I always thought they were really cool. One of the reasons I didn't get into cosplay until about a year and a half ago is that I get a little anxious about that, self-conscious. So I figure if I've got a mask on, no one knows, and that's fine. But I also want like a real official screen-ready Star Trek uniform, like the knockoff one that I currently have. But higher quality that actually looks decent.
Are you going for the reboot of Star Trek?
No.
Okay.
No.
No. Star Trek elitist. He probably hates that movie, I'm sure.
The 2009 one wasn't terrible.
Into Darkness was a terrible remake of Wrath of Khan.
Which wasn't completely unnecessary,
It's supposed
but
to be a prequel, I thought.
here's what they did. In order to be able to do whatever they want, in order to be able to completely ignore canon, they went back in time to create an alternate reality. So it's the same characters, but it takes place before the 1966 Star Trek show ever aired. And so the Into Darkness of Khan is a ripoff of the original Wrath of Khan, which was also the second Star Trek movie.
And arguably one of the best.
Absolutely. Yeah. Star Trek II, The Wrath of Khan, Star Trek VI, Undiscovered Country are consistently rated the top 2 for the original cast. Yeah, we can always talk about Star Trek another time.
If you hear me falling asleep, that's probably why.
You could always do a combo, like Stormtrooper and Star Trek with phasers.
I've thought about that. You know, get a Stormtrooper outfit, maybe, you know, paint it, you know, red or something like that.
Are you
like
a red shirt?
You know, red shirt Stormtrooper. But
So he's gonna die.
I don't really want to tick off both
He's a
fan bases.
Stormtrooper and a red shirt. He's going down.
Yeah. No, but for the Star Trek cosplay, it's Captain Picard's cosplay that he did, his costume that he wore in the later seasons. That was the zipper, like leather suede jacket that made him look different from everybody else. It's kind of his casual jacket that he would wear. I always thought that was nice.
Great.
All right, Ryan, what about you? I know you're a Ghostbuster. Any other dreams?
Well, that was a dream that I accomplished, so I can't really count that on my list anymore. Ninja Turtles, the original.
Awesome.
Or Secret of the Ooze, either one of those. Yes. I'd love to do the Ninja Turtles. I would love to do a costume I could probably do realistically would be the one Foot Soldiers from that movie. I thought they were really cool looking. And then Shredder from that movie would be another one that I think is really cool. Ghostbusters was a big one for me, so that's always the one that pops into my head. Having a real, like, close to real proton pack metal parts and real parts is always a big thing. So that's one and having the car, which I didn't mention at the beginning, but I do drive a kind of rip-off Ecto-1 that I made out of an old Volvo, so.
It's pretty sweet.
You did that all by yourself.
Yeah.
That's
I did that all by
fantastic.
myself. I used to be into cars a lot, and
That is
so,
cosplay to the next level.
Yes.
That was great for charity events. Kids love it. It's good for pictures, so.
Do you let him get inside the car?
Not usually, but
Okay.
they could. I don't have it really.
I didn't know if they ever asked if they could drive the Ghostbuster.
Not to drive as much. I mean, mostly they just like to stare at it.
Really? You're not going to let a 6-year-old drive your car around?
I probably wouldn't let a
How
lot of people
cruel.
that are old enough drive it. But yeah, that was quite the project. We'll have to talk about that in a future podcast. But
Definitely. Ghostbusters is having their 30th anniversary
This
coming
year,
up, so
yeah,
it would be a
August.
perfect topic to talk about.
We're going to be doing an event there, I guarantee you.
Definitely.
Can we all just agree that the new rap song for the Ninja Turtles is
It's horrible.
worse than the Go
Michael
Ninja?
Bay is
Yeah.
crushing our dreams.
Well,
Yeah.
save yourself the time and
I saw that she posted
listen
it.
to
I was
something
gonna
like-
listen to it, but I was scared.
Yeah, that's a good feeling. Just go listen to
Destroying my
Vanilla
childhood.
Ice.
Between
Rap.
Transformers and Ninja Turtles, there's not much left for me to love in the world.
Yeah.
And
It's sad.
they're killing it one step at a time.
Yep.
Next is what? Ghostbusters. Maybe Michael Bay will be directing the third
Ghostbusters 3.
No, they're going to have Keenan Ivory Wayans do it.
It's going to be horrible.
They're never doing a Ghostbusters 3.
Yeah,
We just
well,
have to get
every
over
year
that.
It's starting
Someone's
next
rumor,
spring. That's
yeah.
right. That's what it every year is.
Will
You
or...
better get to it before Bill Murray dies.
Well,
He's not going to do it.
He doesn't really want to be in it, is the big problem. One of the
Dan Aykroyd's the only one really pushing it now, and
Ernie Hudson wants to do it really bad.
I want Ernie Hudson to do it
Yeah.
personally. I mean, I
We
feel
talked
like
about that last year.
All right, so I guess we'll just go ahead and do a quick recap of some upcoming events that we have. So this weekend, Saturday, July 26th is Batman Day at Elite Comics in Overland Park. It's off 119th and Quivira. There'll be food, there'll be artists, there'll be lots of cosplayers from our group. So definitely check that out. We also then have the Guardians of the Galaxy premiere the following weekend at the Legends Phoenix Theater. So that's out in KCK.
in the Alamo Draft.
Oh, and the Alamo
We're
Draft
doing that
House.
first.
Thank you, Ryan. Yeah, so we'll be at the Alamo Draft House first, and then we'll be going to the Legends Phoenix Theater later that evening. So be sure to check us out at least one of those places. And then we have Crypticon. So Crypticon is August 15th, 16th, and 17th.
The 16th is the costume contest, which is, I think, when a lot of our people are going to be there.
Yeah. And then Sunday's the makeup contest.
Costume contest on the 16th, makeup contest on Sunday. So we'll have a lot of people participating in those. There's a little bit of a battle going on here. Ryan thinks he's going to take the crown.
No, Ryan knows he's going to take the crown. Spawn ain't got nothing on me.
Let's see if your pros
It's
are
all
backwards
about
on me.
amping up the crowd.
I like that. Ghostbuster versus Spawn. That's interesting.
Ghostbusters has taken down gods on multiple occasions. I'm pretty sure Spawn is not really going to be an issue.
Yeah. They also fought marshmallows.
Which was the incarnation of a god, so Whatever.
It just popped in there.
Yeah.
And then in October, that's a little farther out, we have the Autism Speaks Walk. So we'll be there for that. A lot of us will be there in costume. A few of us mentioned kind of what we'll be dressed as. I actually don't know at this point, but I will be there in something. We'll find out.
We'll get him a costume.
We have 2 other women who are part of our admins. If we didn't mention that before,
Did we mention that? Yeah.
Yeah.
We're the 4.
By the way,
we're
we're 4 of the 6 administrators of the Kansas City Cosplay. By no means are we the only ones involved. 2 other ladies work very hard to keep us going as well. We have Deborah, and she's one of our family cosplayers. Every single person in her family dresses up and shows up to every event, and she makes sure that everybody has costumes and props and makeup, and she hauls everybody around, and it's amazing how much work she puts into her costumes. Every day I see her on Facebook working on my costume, working on Justin's, working on the kids. It's just crazy how much work she puts into it. And then Allie is one of our commuter cosplayers. We aren't just Kansas City metro area. We are Wichita. We are Manhattan, Kansas, Topeka. We have tons of people from Iowa and Warrensburg, and I think we have a couple Springfield members. So Allie's one of our Manhattan people. She drives out quite often, more often than I would if I lived in Manhattan. And currently her costumes have been Pam from Archer, which is hilarious because she looks the part amazingly, and she carries a dolphin puppet around with her to help us with our feelings.
It's very good.
It's a really good cosplay. She ended up getting stopped by Abby Darkstar at Planet Comic-Con, and Abby requested a picture with her. So it's pretty insane that professional cosplayers who charge by the hour want to be with us.
Yeah, that was a pretty cool photo. I think she was dressed up as Rogue, right?
Yeah.
I think in that one.
Yeah.
Abby.
She was. And then currently she has a Detective Gordon costume, I believe. She's bringing to Batman, and I know she's working on a Black Canary cosplay because we all want to jump on the Arrow train too.
Yep, I saw the cool kid doing it, or cool kids, I guess, me and Brad. And they all had
You
to
gotta
join in.
admit, one cosplayer is amazing. 7, 8 cosplayers all in one
big
group.
difference.
It's pretty good.
Mhm.
It's pretty hard to ignore group cosplay, and I think that's one of the best things I've gotten out of this group now. I have so many people on a daily basis that post to the Facebook, hey, let's do this photo shoot, or let's do this costume, and we should all get together. And immediately there's an instant reaction. You got 10 different cosplayers who are like, I'm gonna do that. I'll start making that tomorrow. When do we want this ready? It's just an instantaneous response with some of these people. I mean, I'm thinking about costumes I never would have thought of, but I'm gonna have so much fun doing them. Why not?
And you're doing a Batwoman.
Batgirl.
Batgirl version.
They're 2 different
That's-
characters.
that's
I know.
Batgirl. So it's going to be a unique costume.
Right.
Yeah.
I've got it all in my head. I'm going to have to draw it out eventually, but I figure there's Nightwing rumors. Maybe one day there'll be Batgirl rumors.
I don't know.
When they see your costume, they probably will go, oh, we need a Batgirl.
That would be amazing. I think there should be more girls in that group.
I don't know about all that. Maybe take some costume actors.
I'm a terrible actress. You don't want that.
It's okay. The movie I was in, I was just cracking up the entire time.
See, you guys made those comments earlier about that Bat romance song playing. I couldn't hide my emotions. I couldn't fake it. I was grumpy face the whole time. Objectifying cosplayers, people, it's wrong.
We'll go into that in the future.
Yeah, I'm sure we'll definitely have a podcast about that. And speaking of, so our next podcast, we will not have one next week because of the Guardians of the Galaxy release, but the week after, we will talk about Guardians of the Galaxy and why we loved it or hated it, and we will also talk more about Batman Day. And I'm sure we'll all love Batman Day for sure. And then later on, we definitely have a Doctor Who podcast planned for when Doctor Who returns this fall.
We're also going to be featuring a case, I guess you could call it the Kansas City Cosplay and Photography Spotlight, KCCP for short. And our very first cosplayer that the podcast will be about is Dennis Butt. He has his own costume company. He's appeared at Union Station Makers Day. He had a booth there. He did a whole speech like a presentation on his costume. Right now, he's wearing a Predator costume everywhere he goes. So if you see an awesome Predator costume in Kansas City, most likely it's Dennis Butt underneath that mask. And we'll be talking to him here in just a few weeks. In closing, we hope you like us. If you don't, that's cool too. You don't have to listen. There's tons of other things.
If you love us or hate us. We have Twitter,
we have a Twitter. You can yell at us.
Yeah, well, I would prefer not that, but, you know. If
No.
you really want to.
Yeah, feel free to write in all caps. We'll get it. We'll understand.
Yeah.
Or
But-
if you have a subject you want us to discuss,
Or a question.
yeah, go ahead and put that
Of
on
course,
also.
if you have a question for Brad about his awesome Deathstroke love, or you want to take a ride in the Ghostbuster car, don't ask
I'll probably
Ryan
say
because
no,
he won't
but-
let you. He's very antisocial and won't trust you with his car. If you want to geek out with Derek about Star Trek, he's very happy to do that.
Absolutely. So if you do want to get a hold of us, we have a lot of different means to do so. You can find us at KC Cosplay Photo on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. You can also find us on Tumblr at KC Cosplay Photographers, or you can email us at kccosplayphoto@gmail.com. So we are trying to be everywhere, so you can get a hold of us as easily as possible. And if you're listening to this, then you found our YouTube page, so congratulations.
And if you know of an event in the future that, or somebody that's planning an event, feel free to email us or post in the groups about that too. We haven't said no to an event yet, so surely we'll be able to find somebody in the group that will be happy to do whatever events you guys want to do.
Thanks for listening, everybody. Bye.